Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Radha Madhava Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतेरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 14, The Forest of Enjoyment. So we'll see two slokas, sloka 3 and 4. So these are process, so I'll just read. Atacha yatra kautumbika dharapatyaadayo namna karmana vrikshashrigala eva nichatopi kadarsyasya kutumbina urana kavat samrakshamanam mishatopi haranti. Word to word meaning. Ata, in this way. Cha, also. Yatra, in which. Kautumbikaha, the family members. Dara apatya adayaha, beginning with the wife and children. Namna, by name only. Karmana, by their behavior. Vrika Shragalaha, tigers and jackals. Eva, certainly. Anichataha, one who does not desire to spend his wealth. Api, certainly. Kadaryasya, being too miserly. Kutumbinaha, who is surrounded by family members. Uranakavat, like a lamb. Samrakshamanam, although protected. Mishataha, of one who is observing. Api, even. Haranti, they forcibly take away. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. My dear King, family members in this material world go under the names of wife and children, but actually they behave like tigers and jackals. A herdsman tries to protect his sheep to the best of his ability, but the tigers and foxes take away by force. Similarly, although a miserly man wants to guard his money very carefully, his family members take away all his assets forcibly, even though he is very vigilant. Purport. One Hindi poet has sung, Din ka dakini, raat ka bakini, palak palak, rahu chuse. During the daytime, the wife is compared to a witch, and at night she is compared to a tigress. Her only business is sucking the blood of her husband, both day and night. During the day, there are household expenditures, and the money earned by the husband at the cost of his blood is taken away. At night, due to sex pleasure, the husband discharges blood in the form of semen. In this way, he is bled by his wife both day and night. Yet he is so crazy that he very carefully maintains her. Similarly, the children are also like tigers and jackals and foxes. As tigers, jackals, and foxes take away lambs despite the herdsman's vigilant protection, children take away the father's money, although the father supervises the money himself. Thus, family members may be called wives and children, but actually they are the plunderers. Text 4, we'll just see the translation. Translation purport. Every year, the plowman plows over his grain field, completely uprooting all weeds. Nonetheless, the seeds lie there and, not being completely burned, again come up with the plants sown in the field. Even after being plowed under, the weeds come up densely. Similarly, the Grahasthashram family life is a field of fruitive activity. Unless the desire to enjoy family life is completely burned out, it grows up again and again. Even though camphor may be removed from a pot, the pot nonetheless retains the aroma of camphor. As long as the seeds of desire are not destroyed, fruitive activities are not destroyed. Purport. Unless one's desire are completely transferred to the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the desire for family life continues even after one takes sannyas. Sometimes in our society, ISKCON, a person out of sentiment may take sannyas, but because his desires are not burnt completely, he again takes to family life, even at the risk of losing his prestige and disgracing his good name. These strong desires can be burnt out completely when one fully engages in the service of the Lord in devotional service. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं हरि ओं तत्सत् वासुदेवा कथा प्रश्नः पुरुषां स्त्रीं पुनातिथि वक्तारं प्रच्छकं श्रोत्रीं तत्पादा सलिलं यता. So this is a nice sloka from 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this says, just like when Ganges comes, which touches the lotus feet of the Lord, purifies the three worlds, upper, middle and lower planetary systems. So similarly, so while discussing Krishna Katha, so three people are, or three categories of people are purified. First the speaker, the hearer and the questioner. So thank you for giving me this opportunity once again to speak Krishna Katha and purify myself and glorifying the Lord. And the Srimad Bhagavatam, as we already discussed, this is a reminder for everyone to attain the goal of life. What is the purpose of life and how to march to attain this purpose or the goal of life. Of course, I'm not a one-pointed, completely focused devotee. So even though we discuss the same things again and again, many intense classes we hear, but after the class, as usual, it goes down. The intensity will go down. But Srimad Bhagavatam says, Shinvataha Shraddhaya Nityam Granatascha Swachishtitam Kalena Nati Dirgena Bhagavan Vishate Hridhi. That whoever with earnest eagerness hears Bhagavatam and tries to implement in his life, Grahanascha Swachishtitam. So for him, the Krishna will manifest in the heart in a very short period of time. So that is a different, that is what Srimad Bhagavatam suggests. So one should hear Bhagavatam or discuss Bhagavatam with earnest eagerness. So to get that complete eagerness, complete conviction that whatever Bhagavatam is speaking is perfect. If I follow, definitely I will attain Krishna within a very short period of time. The only reason why I am not able to attain because I am lacking this eagerness. Even the same topics will be discussed, mind will tell same topics why again and again. So if one hears the same topics again and again with repetition, he gets that eagerness, and with that eagerness and conviction, when he hears, he can hear or get Krishna in the heart, manifested in the heart in a very short period of time. Kalena nati dirgena Bhagavan Vishate Hriti. So that is what the difference. Everyone is discussing Bhagavatam, hearing Bhagavatam. But for different devotees, it will be different reaction or the result. The difference is this, how one is hearing. And this particular verse we sing, so we'll discuss a little bit context. As we know, there's a discussion happening between Jadabharat and Maharaj Rahugana. So just like Arjuna is asking questions to Krishna, Krishna is answering. So similar discussion is happening between Maharaj Rahugana and Jadabharat. So Rahugana is asking many questions regarding to the world, spiritual life, and Jadabharat is answering in accordingly. But he got a lot of confusion in between. So to give him a better understanding, Jadabharat gives an allegorical story. How about a man is indicating the spirit soul, how he leaves the spiritual world and comes to this material world to enjoy. So he gives this allegorical story, how a man enters the material forest to get some wood and sell it at the best price. But somehow when he enters the deep jungles in the forest, he gets misled and he'll be troubled by many entities, plunderers, many things. And how he's lost. With that allegory, he gives a lot of description. So till now, it's the discussion between Jadabharat and Maharaj Rahugana is finished. But now the discussion starts. The last two verses of the previous chapter. So that discussion again, we know that discussion Bhagavatam starting from Maharaj Parikshit and Shukadeva Goswami, and they're describing many other pastimes. So now it comes back to Maharaj Parikshit and Shukadeva Goswami. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking Shukadeva Goswami, "Oh my dear Lord, oh my dear Gurudev, so whatever allegorical is given, it's very nice, but only intelligent person can extract the actual meaning from this allegory. But what about the unintelligent people? So they cannot understand this. Please give a direct meaning of this allegory. Instead of giving this full allegory, please give the direct meaning." So Parikshit Maharaj is fully in knowledge. He knows everything. But for the conditioned souls of Kali Yuga, he is requesting to give a direct meaning. So this is what we can tell the attitude of a devotee. He always thinks about the other souls. He's already liberated, but he always thinks for the welfare of the general public. So this same attitude we can see in Prahalad Maharaj. or also in Vasudeva Datta, in Gauli life you see. So Vasudeva Datta is requesting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, oh Lord, please deliver all the people in this universe. If they are suffering with their sinful reactions, I will take that. But you please take away all these people. So this is the greatness of a devotee. This is the greatness of devotee. And same thing here we're discussing. So when he asks Parikshit Maharaj, Shukdev Goswami gives a direct meaning of this whole story. So in that context, these two verses come, text 3 and text 4. So text 3 basically describes about a Griha Medi. So who is that Griha Medi? In section chapter first verse, the description of Griha Medi comes. Shrotavyani chi Rajendra Rinam Shanti Sahasrasah Apashyatam Atmatattam Griheshu Griha Medina. So who is this Griha Medi? Griha Medi are the ones who are completely engrossed in the material sense gratification. What are the symptoms? They are completely blind to the knowledge of the ultimate truth. And what else? They have the various subject matters to discuss, except Krishna Katha, except Krishna Katha, the ultimate goal of life. And next sloka immediately says, Nidraya hriyate naktam vyavayena cha vyavayaha divachate yahaya rajan kutumba bharanena va. So what else? The lifetime of such an envious householder, basically Griha Medi. So Prabhupada gives the definition of Griha Medi is a envious person, envious of other living entities. This envious householder is passed at night either in sleeping or in sex indulgence, and in the daytime either in making money or maintaining family members. Immediately next sloka he says, Deha patya kalatradishu atma sanyeshu ashatvapi tesham pramatta nidanam pashyan napi na pashyati. Persons devoid of Atma Tattva do not inquire about the problems of life. So what are the problems of life? We know birth, death, old age and disease. Being too attached to the fallible soldiers like the body, children and wife, although sufficiently experienced, they still do not see their destruction, basically. So these are the very symptoms of a Griha Medi, not knowing about the ultimate goal of life or not trying to get off the actual problems of life, but engaged only in this family affairs. So we basically speak about the husband here. So in this particular verse, we can see so how Prabhupada gives Din ka dakini, raat ka vakini. Very nice. After reading this first time, I just laughing. So what Prabhupada is writing. So husband who is there is always engaged in maintaining the family members. So what happens, even though he's engaged, he's being sucked blood by the wife, by the children. So this exact verse in the previous chapter, verse number 2. Exact as it is. So there is Jadabarada describes these family members are like plunderers, dacoits, jackals and tigers. They suck the blood of the husband, of the father. And after knowing this, still these family members are called wives and children, but still this person, yet he is so crazy that he very carefully maintains her. Even after knowing so many troubles he's getting, he's very, very crazy. So that's why he's mentioned crazy here. So for this craziness, there's a nice example given. I already discussed in one of the Bhagavatam classes. So I'll just try to repeat, which is in the context. So there is a Griha Medi. So he has his wife and children, maintaining family very nicely. So one day, because of his some pious activities in previous life or in this life, so in the next life, after leaving the body, he'll become a pigeon, a golden pigeon in the heaven. By what happens? But still, even though he's changing the body, he's able to remember his previous life. All his family members, he remembers everything. So he's so much attached to maintain his family members, even after becoming a golden pigeon in the heaven. So he remembers everything in the previous life. He remembers address also of the family. He comes to the family members and tells, I am your husband, you forgot me? I want to maintain you without me. How you are living? How you are living? So I just want to take care. I have so much of love for you. So what he tells, except initially family members does not believe. Later they believe. So gives the example of this. So this husband, who is a golden pigeon, he comes to the home. He tells, how you are able to maintain? I will maintain you. And one day he gives his golden feathers One. Hmm. So by selling those golden feathers, these family members are maintaining their family. So one day these people thought, so what if his golden feathers are finished? What if he don't come again? So how will he sustain? So what will do? They will kill the husband or the person, the golden pigeon, and he will be taking care of the and searching. So means the person knows this, but still is engaged, completely dedicated his life for the family members. So that's why Prabhupada is a crazy person here. Exactly. So in this particular verse, exactly relating to this chapter 13, verse number 2. So the Prabhupada writes, similar, same as it is almost. So the jackals and the tigers, they loudly cry or loudly shout in the night. So similarly, one's wife and children in this material will also cry like jackals. How do they cry? The children say, Father, this is wanted. Give me this. I am your dear son. Or the wife says, I am your dear wife. Please give me this. This is now needed. In this way, one is plundered by the thieves in the forest, not knowing the actual human aim of life. What is that? Nate vidu swarda katim hi Vishnu. Vishnu is the actual self-interest, but everyone forgets this, engaged in the material activities. Actually, these two particular verses which are there, it's very, very important and heavy verses. So very important for especially for all the full-time devotees, full-time residents in the temple. So how this family life, if it is not centered about Krishna consciousness, how difficult it is. And even though taking up Krishna consciousness, even become a renunciant, but still there is a pitfall of falling down. That is the next verse which it describes. So instead of spending money for advancing Krishna consciousness movement, this Grahamedi spends his hard-earned money in clubs, brothels, and slaughterhouses and so forth. So he gives up that money, even though he wants to save it, protect it as a miser, but these people will take it away. And what else? So due to sinful activities, one becomes implicated in the process of transmigration and thus has to accept one body after another. So basically it's telling about how our spirit soul leaving the Krishna consciousness, Krishna from the spiritual world, and comes in here and engages in sense gratification and completely suffers all the time. So as Krishna says, Dukkhalaya Mashashvatam. And Prabhupada is very, very emphatic in his lectures and also in the purports he writes. There is no happiness in this material world. But Maya is so powerful, she tells, so take this or do this, you'll be happy. So Maya is the best servant of the Lord because she is doing her best service, keeping the living entities completely in illusion. So what happens when a living entity comes from the spiritual world, fall down here? It takes number of bodies doing all the sinful activities. Karmana Daivanetrena Jantur Dehopapadyate. So according to his past misdeeds or activities, taking one body after another, one body after another, one body after another, and suffering in this material world, forgetting Krishna. So exact words say this from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna boli say Jeev anadi bahirmukh atayeva maya tare de samsara dukh. So forgetting Krishna, so the living entity has been attracted by the external feature of this material world. How long? From time immemorial. From time immemorial. So therefore the illusionary energy Maya gives him all kinds of miseries in his material existence. So and this conditioned soul, because of his activities, taking various bodies in this material world. And how many bodies do you have? 84 lakhs species. That is 84 lakh different kinds of bodies which are there. And is traveling all over the world, all over in the universe or in the other universes. Just traveling all over the creation, suffering every single moment. And as we know, the only solution for this is a pure devotional service. But a conditioned soul is moving the whole over the creation, different species of life. But somehow or the other, if one comes in the association of devotees, he is very, very fortunate. Exact sloka it says, Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. So living entity is wandering all over the universe, but somehow or the other, by his great fortune, if he comes in the association of devotees or gets the mercy of Krishna or Guru, he can get this Bhakti Lata Beach, or the seed of devotional service. So basically, all these verses which we're going to discuss, it's the instructions given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Srila Rupa Goswami. So what is this devotional service all about? How one should cultivate this devotional service? And what are the difficulties in this? And how can one come to this platform of your devotional service? So all the slokas we'll discuss one by one. So slowly we'll have a context and regarding this. And what is this Bhakti Lata Beach? Bhakti Lata Beach means the creeper of devotional service. So when Guru showers this mercy, so he gives this bija, the creeper, so just like a plant. So how we grow the plant? By watering. So this devotional service also, when one gets, he has to water this devotional service through water by Shravanam and Kirtanam. So when one takes up this devotional service, getting from the spiritual master, he can become a pure devotee of the Lord. So for example, we have Narada Muni. So in his previous life, he was son of a maid servant. And for Chaturmasya, so Vrata, this Bhakti Vedantas, the pure devotees of the Lord, so they come and stay in the house of Narada Muni. And Narada Muni's mother, maid servant, and Narada Muni, joining his mother, serves all the Bhakti Vedantas. And by the birth, Bhakti Lata Beach given by the Bhakti Vedantas and rendering a devotional service nicely, so intensely, Narada Muni become a pure devotee of the Lord. And Narada Muni has become a Narada Muni actually. And this devotional service which is there is not something coming from external. It is already internal. It's a dormant in ourselves. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabuno Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karayudai. So this Krishna consciousness is already there in the heart of every living entity. The only thing is it has to be revived. And who will revive this? Who will help us? A spiritual master. With his mercy, he will give this Bhakti Lata Bij in the heart. So one has to nourish this Bhakti Lata Bij. And how to nourish? Malihane kare seyi bijaropan Shravana Kirtana Jale Karaye Sechan. So when one gets this beach, one has to become a gardener of this seed. And by Shravan and Kirtan, he has to plant this seed. Plant this need. So it's mentioned here Shravana Kirtan. One may think that I'll just do Shravana and Kirtan, so I'll not do any other devotional service and just engage in devotional service. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada wants this. No. So it is only meant for Haridas Thakur, who is completely elevated soul. Only he can be engaged only in Shravana and Kirtan. But for others who are there in practicing stage, so they has to do all the other services also. So Prabhupada mentions even the deity worship. So one has to perform all the kinds of devotional services. So Shravan Kirtan involves everything. So that means, as Srila Prahlad Maharaj says, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Swaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. So all this Navavidha Bhakti has to be performed. As we discussed, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karyoda. So Shravana Adi. So Adi is mentioned whenever it's mentioned. Shravana Adi means there is still more. Along with this, one has to perform all the other devotional services also. So by this, what happens? By performing this devotional service, Shravanam and Kirtanam, so that creeper grows slowly and slowly. And here the word Guru Prasada. This also indicates that spiritual master is so merciful, he is giving or bestowing this benediction on a disciple. What is the benediction? Devotional service upon the disciple. So this is called Guru Prasada. So as we see, and in ISKCON, our society, so our Guru is Srila Prabhupada, he gave us this Guru Prasada, the devotional service. He gave us all the Navavidha Bhakti, and more importantly, he gave the preaching mission for all of us. So we're getting this Guru Prasada from Srila Prabhupada. So this moment is preaching moment. One has to push on this preaching of mission of Krishna consciousness. And we know how all these disciples of Srila Prabhupada, by following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, taking the Guru Prasada in the heart, preaching everywhere. So by this nurturing this, all the disciples, all the hippies who are there, they became happy, the pure devotees of the Lord. So the result is there. And this Bhakti Lata beach, on also another meaning, Prabhupada gives in the purport, receiving the instructions from the spiritual master. Shravan and Kirtan also means receiving the instructions, Shravan, receiving the instructions from the spiritual master. And next sloka it says, Upajiya bhade lata brahmanda bhedi jaya Vraja Brahma Loka Bhedi Paravyoma Paya. So what happens? By nurturing this creeper, what happens? As one waters the Bhakti Lata beach, the seed sprouts. And the creeper gradually grows to the point where it penetrates the walls of the universe and goes beyond the Viraja river. So it's mentioned Viraja, that's a causal ocean. So why it's named Viraja? So V means Vimukta, so which is divide off. Raja means the modes of material nature. So this river which is there, so it is divide of this three modes of material nature. So when this Bhakti Lacha creeper grows, it goes beyond this Viraja river, and what else? What happens? What happens? It attains the Brahmaloka, Brahman effulgence, and penetrating through the stratum, it reaches the spiritual sky and the spiritual planet Goloka Vrindavan. So finally, it rests at the lotus feet of the Lord in a Goloka Vrindavan. So Prabhupada in this particular verse purport, so emphasizes what is this bhakti. So bhakti means only pure devotional service to Krishna and not to anyone else. We can see this creeper sometimes so takes the shelter of the tree which is grown to a very great extent. So this creeper comes and takes shelter of a branch which is at the top of the tree. So Prabhupada compares this here. So this devotional service which is there, so it will not take shelter at any material planet, even up to the Brahmaloka. It will not take any shelter, but it goes beyond and takes the shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord in Goloka Vrindavan. And few more meanings Prabhupada gives in this purport. And this devotional service cannot be utilized for any material purpose. Another meaning. So we're not any material. It will not stuck at any material purpose. People may think, I can do bhakti for family members or for the country or even for the demigods. And Prabhupada completely rejects this. Bhakti means only Krishna. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnuho. Only for Krishna or Vishnu. And there is no other person in this between. And we know very well this very famous pastime when Srila Prabhupada giving the title for our society is ISKCON. ISKCON. And some devotees recommended. So why cannot we be ISCGON? God consciousness. So it's a widespread, everyone will be attracted. But Prabhupada is very particular about this. ISKCON, Krishna consciousness. So bhakti is only for Krishna and nothing else. So this is the mode of Srila Prabhupada. And while cultivating this creeper, growing this creeper, sometimes we may commit offense also. And the next sloka immediately, she says, Yadi Vaishnava Parada Ute Hati Mata Upade Vacha Chinde Tara Suki Yaya Pata. So while rendering devotional service, one may commit a Vaishnava aparadha, and this is compared to a mad elephant. So just like there is a crop, the crop is growing on. Sometimes elephants may come, mad elephants, and they'll destroy the whole crop. And this mad elephant is compared to a offense unto the Vaishnava. Offense, mad elephant. So we know many pastimes I was discussing before the class. So how Ramachandra Puri offended his spiritual master Madhavendra Puri, and later he came out of devotional service. And how Daksha offended a great Vaishnava Shiva. And later we know Devananda Pandit, when he was giving Bhavatam class, Shiva's Thakur comes and sits in the class. And Bhavatam speaking, he gets all these 8 symptoms of ecstatic symptoms, and he's enjoying this. And all the people sitting in the class, they thought he's making some disturbance. And all the people will come and pick up Shiva's Thakur, keep him outside the class. And Devananda Prabhu didn't speak each in a single word. And later he also got the consequences. And we can see even in the case of Mother Sachi, the mother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu herself. But still, so what is that her offense? In the mind only. She thought, so my first son, Vishwarup, he left home because of this Advaita Charya. And Mahaprabhu, as the Lord, he stays in everyone's heart, he knows. And he didn't give even this mercy to his own mother, Sachimata. Because of this, just the thought of just offending. So what to speak of physical or grossly offending a devotee. So what happens when one person commits a Vaishnava aparadha, mad elephant offense? So that creeper which is growing, it will stop. It will be stunned. It will not grow. And not only Vaishnava aparadha, and there are many other things which are there, which will stop this Bhakti Laja creeper to grow. So what are those? Tate mali yatna kori kare avarana aparada hastira yache nahaye udgama. So this is also describing about mad this offenses. So basically the purport Prabhupada writes this all the 6 things which are not to be done while rendering pure devotional service. So what are those? Atyahara prayasascha prajalpa niyamagraha janasangascha laulyam shadbir bhaktir vinashashdi. So while performing devotional service, one they perform these 6 activities and also not to perform 6. So what are these 6? Atyahara, that is eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than necessary. And next, prayasascha, over endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. And third thing, Atyahara prayasasa prajalpa, talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters. Niyamagraha, practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them or not for the sake of any spiritual advancement. Or another meaning, rejecting the rules and regulations for the scriptures, about the scriptures. And next, Jana Sangasya, that is associating with the old man. And next, Laulyam, greediness, being greedy for mundane things. So these are the 6 activities which will destroy the Bhaktilata beach which is there. Along with the offenses, these are other 6 which will destroy. And next, in the next verse, if we see in the verse number 4, it's mentioned, unless one's desires are completely transferred to the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the desire for family life continues even after one has taken sannyas. So Prabhupada gives the example in our own society. It's gone how one may fall down because of this. In the translation, Prabhupada, every year the plowman plows over his grain field, completely uprooting all the weeds. So we'll discuss a little about these weeds. So what are these weeds? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes. So what are these weeds? Kintu yadi latara sange ute upa shaka bhukti mukti vancha yata asankyatara leka. Sometimes while growing these creepers, unwanted creepers also grow. So what are those unwanted creepers? Are called weeds. So what are these? Desires for material enjoyment and liberation from the material world grow along with the creepers of devotional service. And these are how many? Many. The varieties of such unwanted creepers are unlimited. These creepers are unlimited. So these creepers, weeds which are there, they may look alike, same size, everything may alike. Sometimes we also feel devotional service. I'm getting this. This is also devotional service, you may think. But that is a weed. So one should able to identify this is a weed and should cut it. If not, he has to face. So it's categorized into 6. So what are these weeds? Next sloka. Nishiddachar kutinati jiva himsa labha puja pratishta yata upashaka gana. Upashaka, the creepers. Along with that, along with this it comes. Nishiddachar. So we'll see. So these creeps, weeds are coming. But why? What is the cause of this? What are the causes of these creeds? In the next verses, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So why these creepers are coming? In the purport side, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur describes. So if one hears and chants without trying to give up offenses, one becomes material attached to sense gratification. If one chants Hare Krishna mantra while committing offenses, these unwanted creepers will grow. The reason is this. Why these creepers are unwanted creepers, weeds are coming? If one chants Hare Krishna mantra while committing offenses. So while committing offenses, if one does offenses also, then the source of this offenses, then all these 6 items will come. Nishiddachar, kutinati, jiva himsa, labha, puja, pratishta, yada, upashaka, gan. So we'll see one by one how much are possible. So first thing, Nishiddha Achar, that is unwanted behavior not to be executed by a person who is practicing Krishna consciousness. So basically for the devotees, so Prabhupada gave the proper sadachar is following the 4 regulative principles. No meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, and no illicit sex. So if one is not following these 4 regulative principles or breaking these 4 regulative principles, it's mentioned as Nishiddha Achar. And next is Kutinati or diplomacy. Having something in mind and speaking something else outside. This is called diplomacy. So you can just meditate on all these weeds, how we are doing in our day-to-day life, and how to avoid it. In devotee associations, we may be staying in the devotees, but sometimes we want to get something from other. We will not ask directly, something indirectly we speaks, and this is what Krishna doesn't like. So kutinati, diplomacy. And next is jiva himsa, unnecessarily killing animals or the soul, which is mentioned, jiva himsa. So one devotee was mentioning this. So we have to preach Krishna consciousness. If one is not taking up this Krishna consciousness or preaching very seriously, he is doing jiva himsa, because people are suffering all over the world. So a preacher has to go out and preach, save the people. If he's not doing so, he's doing jiva himsa. If one is suffering outside, it is only because of the devotees or the preachers who are not preaching extensively. That is jiva himsa. And next, labha, profit. So puja, labha, pradishta, these are almost similar. Labha means profit according to material calculations. I have done something, I should get some accordingly. I need some benefit. And puja, adoration achieved by satisfying mundane people. Pratishtadi, becoming an important man in the material association. So these are all similar, these three things. Puja, labha, pratishtha. I have done something, some service. So for this service, I need something, benefit, right? I need something. If I don't get, what is it? So all these are puja, labha. These are the 6 weeds which are there. If these are not completely removed, so it's very difficult to get that creeper back to the spiritual world at the lotus feet of Krishna. So one has to think how to avoid all these 6 weeds. And in the future sloka, so Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, only by rendering pure devotional service, one can uproot all these weeds. And what is this pure devotional service? As all of us know, Anyabhilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karmadi Anavrutam, Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam, Bhaktiruttachite. So what is devotional service? Another sloka which says, Rishikena Rishike Sevanam, Bhaktiruchati. So what is how it starts? Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam, Satparatmela Nirmanam, Rishikena Rishikesa Sevanam, Bhaktir Uchate. So this is devotional service. Engaging all our senses in the devotional service of the Lord. Rishikesha, the controller of the senses. So when one engages in the service of the Lord, that is called devotional service. All these things. But how to do that devotional service? That is Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karanamadi Anavritam. Anukula Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Ruchate. So only by rendering pure devotional service, one can remove all these unwanted creepers. And related to the verse number 4, so we can see same thing is mentioned. We can just read once to rewind this translation. Every year, the plowman plows over his grain field, completely uprooting all weeds. Nonetheless, the seeds lie there and, not being completely burned, again come up with the plants sown in the field. Even after being plowed under, the weeds come up densely. Similarly, the Grastha Ashram, family life, so basically we can take as a fruitive activity, is a field of fruitive activity. So having that mind, I'm doing something, I want something in return. Unless the desire to enjoy family life is completely burned out, it grows up again and again. Even the camphor may be removed from a pot, the pot nonetheless retains the aroma of camphor. As long as the seeds of desire are not destroyed, fruitive activities are not destroyed. So Prabhupada gives the example of sannyas in ISKCON itself. As I mentioned, because of sentiment. So we can see in first canto, chapter 5, verse number 18. So that sloka describes, even though one sentimentally takes up the pure devotion service or gives up everything, rendering pure devotion, sometimes he may fall because of sentiment. So, but what is the loss in it? What is the loss? But even though one renders all the activities very nicely, this material activities, and is not taking up devotion service, what is the use? So even though he may fall down, there is no much loss. But still, so it is all related to for ourselves as temple residents. So sometimes we may give up all the material activities externally, but certainly that still remains. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking Shukadeva Goswami. So after describing the 5th canto, at the last we get the description of all the hellish planets. So Parikshit Maharaj asked Shukadeva Goswami, why these people are suffering so much in these hellish planets? Why? So, what is the solution for this? Shukadeva Goswami gives the solution. What is the solution? Atonement. So, if one takes this prayaschitta method, so he can come out of these sinful activities. Then Parikshit Maharaj is very intelligent. He puts the same argument here. Same argument. So, camphor may be there in the pot. If you can remove it, camphor is not there, but still that aroma is there. So one may take up this process of prayaschitta, atonement. He does atonement, but still once again he commits the same mistake again. Just like elephant, he goes takes bath in the river, but once he comes out again puts the dirt on his. Same thing. So what is the use, oh my dear Gurudev takes this upon atonement. Then what is the solution for this? He says, Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayanaha agam drinvastikataya niharam iva bhaskaraha. Kechit kevalaya bhakta. He is also telling there, only by rendering pure devotional service, the tendency which is there, the desire that can come out only by pure devotional service. So until that tendency that removes, it is very difficult. Basically there are chances to fall down again in this material world. There's a chances. And the same thing even in Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, aprarabdha phalam papam kutam bijam phalonmukam kramenaiva phaleva Vishnu bhakti ratatmanam. So when we do any activity other than devotion service, so we have aprarabdha karma, and kutam bijam. So when we do activities also, by doing this atonement process, this prarabdha, these reactions may be destroyed. But that kutam bijam, the tendency and the desire to commit sinful activity still remains. So how this can come out? Only by rendering pure devotional service. As we know, there's a famous sloka, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. So Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. So there should be no Jnana and there is no karma. So I'm doing this devotional service, I want to get this. So sometimes we may have this karma yoga means that I have to do some job, only then it's no. So when Vishnu devotee who came with us for the Bhakti Vaibhav class, Vamshivadam Prabhu, so he was asked this question. So we may have this desire, I am giving class even though we are full-time residents and we are doing the pure devotional service, so there is no karma, no jnana. So Prabhu is telling that, so even though we have that desire in the heart, I am preaching or doing some service, but I want some glorification behind. So that comes under karma. And jnana, I want to get knowledge. This is a desire for liberation. So I'm doing this devotion service. I'm struggling a lot in this material world. So I want to go back to Godhead. I want to come out of this this material world. This is jnana. So this both should be out. No desire for karma and no desire for jnana. That is liberation. So this is called Anya Abhilashita. There is no desire. Then what should be the desire? So we cannot live without any desire. Then the desire should be only to please the Lord. Unless one desires completely transferred to the service of the Supreme Personality of God. Same thing Prabhupada has mentioned. So that complete desire, I want to just serve the Lord all the time. And I don't want anything else. Until unless one establishes in that desire, these desires, other desires will be there. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnarashulinam. So anukulyena means in the favorable for the Lord. So another meaning anu also means following. Following whom? The spiritual master or the acharyas. So whatever is given by the acharya and we are following that. That is called anushilanam. Anukulyena. Krishna anushilanam. So Krishna anushilanam means doing the service for the pleasure of the Lord. So we see the pastimes of Putana. Putana is trying to kill Krishna. But Krishna is relishing there. But Putana didn't come in the mood to give pleasure to Krishna. So that is not Anushilanam. Anushilanam means rendering devotional service for the pleasure of the Lord. So when one does this pure devotional service, then all these weeds which are there will be completely removed. And that Bhakti Lata Bij which is there, it grows and finally reaches the lotus feet of the Lord. Only then one can be completely satisfied, or else he'll be completely dissatisfied. Even there is single tinge of material desire, he'll be always ashanta. There is no peace. Only one comes to the platform or establishes in the platform of pure devotion service, he'll be completely peaceful and can cut out of this material world and reach Golok Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. So with this I would like to conclude. If there are any questions, we can discuss. Hare Krishna.
This when the chanting is offensive, these reads come out. I'm just trying to search for the reference. Where is it given?
So in the purport Prabhupada writes this
That,
19150 160 19160 Madhya Lila. So there it's, if one chants the Hare Krishna, the first line of the purport, it's given there. Hare Krishna.
These six things that are in 6 weeks. Nishiddhachar, Putinati, Jivimsa, Labh, Puja, and Pratishtha. So Labh we understand is profit or material celebration. Pratishtha is desire for great prestige. What is meant by Pratishtha?
So that's what I'm also not having complete clarity on this. So what I understood is almost similar. Exactly difference I am also not sure. Prabhuji.
Puja is a Prabhupada writes adoration achieved by satisfying mundane people. And Pratishtha is becoming an important thing. So basically, we say name, position, and prestige. Prestige of fame. So this is puja is more of fame, and pratishtha is more of position. And love is understood. Puja is more of fame, and pratishtha is more of position.
Doing pure devotional service, we can remove this unwanted focus. But for doing pure devotional service, we are practicing. So this is not pure devotional service, but we are trying to do pure devotional.
Yes, we are doing pure devotion. We are practicing pure devotion service. We are doing without any desire. So we're trying to do it. So we have to be established at that position. So as of now, we are practicing it. So we're practicing to come to that level. So similarly, why we are chanting? To continuously chant unoffenselessly. So we're practicing pure devotion service to render pure devotion service. So now still the difference is this. Anarthas are still there now. So by rendering pure devotion service, anarthas will be removed. And then when we render, that is also pure devotion service. That is what actually Krishna relishes. So Harishya Prabhuji gives all this example. Where making nice sweet rice. Our desire is pure. I want to please Krishna. But still, another are there. Anarthas are there. I will make this pure sweet rice. I want some devotees to tell, oh, Prabhuji, such a sweet rice you made. Some glorification we need. Something is there. The purity is there that I want to render. But simultaneously, this also is added. So just like adding small sand particles to the sweet rice. Krishna will think, oh, okay, very nicely you did. But still that anarthas are there, sand particles are there. When we completely remove sand particles and then when we give Krishna, Krishna will relish a lot. So Krishna is relishing now also, but he'll completely relish nicely when anarthas are completely eradicated. So that's understanding Vishaya. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय.